What up, guys? Look at us. It's Sunday, 8 p.m. Eastern, our
The time.
regularly scheduled time, and we're here.
We're doing it.
What's up?
It's crazy. Thank you all for being here. Thank you, Jesse. Always first in the chat. Look at
Always
you.
first with a thumbs up. I really
I
appreciate
love
it.
it. So positive to start up. You know what else is positive? The sales you can get at instocktrades.com. That's our
Girl,
great
tell me
sponsor.
about it.
Oh, well, you could go there right now and you could get a great deal on what we're talking about today. That is Monster. These are great, perfect editions. They're 2-in-1s. So there are only 9 of these total, and only 9 for manga. That's amazing. It's amazing. So,
Chunky boys.
God, go there, get some chunkers, put them on your shelf. Oh, beautiful.
Ooh, so good.
Look gorgeous together. Get a great deal there. And a great deal on all your other books. You're going to get great shipping. If you're in the States, $50 or more, free shipping. Right now, we can support the USPS. It may take a bit. That's okay. We have a backlog. We all do, right?
Oh, yeah.
There's so much to read.
I'm
So
sure
place
there's somebody
it.
out there who's read everything in their collection. I've never met anyone who has.
Guy, you know what? If you're in the chat, please tell us about your amazing ways because I don't know how to do it. I don't know.
I'm really hoping that because, like, I've got to go into, like, I've really got to save money for a while, which means limited IST orders, which means I should read my backlog. Will I? Or will I check out books from the library that then I don't read? I don't know.
That's where I have the issue as well. I'm like, yeah, I want to save money. Not going to buy some books. Let's go get 100 books from the library. Not 100, but I walk away with the stack. I'm like, ugh, every time. It's a lot. It's a lot.
What
And then
up,
we have
Freddie?
Comixology
What up,
Unlimited.
Joe?
Hey, guys.
Oh, yeah. So today, we are finally talking about Monster by Naoki Urasawa, and I mean all of Monster. So we do very much recommend picking up these perfect editions. There's 9 of them.
They're perfect.
They're really nice quality.
They really are. And you know what's great? I don't know if you've done this.
Yeah, they all line up.
You're like, I have.
Do I have any of mine that do? Nearby?
You can, yeah, I don't, sadly. But
Wait, I've got one.
Oh, you do? Okay.
Look at that.
Yeah, so
Whoa.
the best is like you can line them up like on your floor, right?
Yeah.
And stick them all together. And it's like a big wall of like portraits. It's really cool. When I first got these, like when I was collecting them when they came out, and I was like, what is this? This cover's terrible. But then when I realized they all connected, I'm like, oh no, it's really cool.
Yeah.
And let's talk more about the quality of this book. I love these beginning pages that are like see-through.
Yeah.
I don't know what these are called, but they're really cool.
Idea.
Like you can hear it. It's a, you know, and then there's some beautiful color pages. Maddie and I were talking before.
Yeah,
we were just going on and on.
It's really nice. I do appreciate that, like, some parts of the books do have these nice color pages. And it's just, I don't know, it just brings you into
Beautiful.
the world a little bit.
Yeah.
And I really dig that. I was trying to figure out which one of mine around here do have those.
We were
Yeah, it's
hoping
just
that
nice.
it's so beautiful. I wish there were more like full color manga that came out.
Me too.
There's not a lot, but because this color work is very, very nice too.
So I've been
with
really
his art.
excited to read this because I knew nothing about Naoki Urasawa until maybe like 5 years ago when the guy I was dating at the time introduced me to Monster the anime. And I was like, okay, well, let's try it out. And by the end, I was like, where has this been my whole life? Because I just, to me, this is perfect. It's just perfect in every way. And so I couldn't believe that I hadn't heard about this. And I feel like every time someone's introduced to Monster, they all feel the same way. And so, like, I had watched all of it, but I'd never read Monster. So it was really exciting to finally have the chance to read through it, because I bought these forever ago. And before even reading these, my own copies of these, I read, like, Pluto, and the one we both got. What is it called?
20th Century Boys? No?
Yeah, I bought that. I haven't read it yet.
Oh, that new one.
The new one, the short
yeah,
one.
the new one that's not as good.
Yeah.
The new one, yeah.
And I'm just constantly blown away, because I've, like, with every piece of, like, Naoki Urasawa media, with the exception of that one, which is just fine. It's
Yeah.
not good, but not in comparison. Monster, 20th Century Boys, because 20th Century Boys I hadn't read, but I've watched the movies. Pluto, amazing. It's just, the manga for Monster, still so good, and this one comes up in my mind a lot when I'm thinking of recommendations of comic or manga or anime for like people who aren't typically consumers of those medias. Especially like our murderino friends, people that are into crime dramas or true crime or
Thrillers,
psychological thrillers. This is the pick.
100%.
The fact that this has not been adapted to a live TV show is crazy. I know that somebody was campaigning to do that for HBO for like a while, like years ago.
That would be great.
This is it.
Yeah, 100%. Oh my gosh, can you imagine?
Yes,
it'd be so good. And the fact that it's like a finite, like you only have these 9 volumes, which are 2-in-1s, but great miniseries or something.
Oh, for sure.
Like, give me 10 episodes and we're good. You know. Oh, it would be amazing.
And there's so many great stories to tell in here too, because it's not just like you got this main story, but throughout here you get bits and pieces of other ones that of course tie in really well, but still add so much depth to this. So yeah, I think honestly, like a season, 2 seasons, you're done. Perfect. Hey Kyle, what's up?
Hi Kyle.
Also my guy. So great.
Best guy.
So for those of you in the chat, if you haven't read Monster, which please go read it, and also watch the anime. I will.
I have to do that.
After we
apparently it's on YouTube. Everybody's saying it's on YouTube.
Yeah.
You can't stream it legally. So I mean, it's on YouTube. So hey, check it out.
Find it there. If you have issues,
I'm gonna look it up.
You can shoot me a message. Add
a dramatic wink after
that. So for those of you who haven't read or watched it, Monster revolves around this Japanese doctor. It's like 1980s. He's in Germany. So he's gone there for he went there for like a research fellowship and ended up staying on as a doctor there. He's a neurosurgeon. It centers around him, and he's faced with this dilemma early on about whether he, sees patients as they come to him, or which could involve, seeing somebody who's less fortunate, right? Or seeing who the hospital wants him to see because of politics. They want him to take care of the mayor or somebody else because of that money.
Yeah, like the head director is like, save this person, not that person, and it becomes a whole struggle and dilemma within him.
Right. So this is not really spoilers because it's right at the beginning. This is the very first thing that happens. Right at the beginning, he ends up listening to the hospital director and saving this person he wants him to save over this this man who came in there first. And he ends up getting this kind of backlash with the wife. Like, why didn't you? My husband came in here first, and you could have saved him. Why didn't you go ahead and take him first? And so the next time around, Utema really struggles with this because he's a really good-hearted person. He's very much just like the best kind of doctor you would want to have. Because he's about helping people.
Yeah.
And the hospital's not, as many hospitals aren't. They're about the cutting research. They're not about helping people, about making money. And that's not him. And so he struggles with this until a similar case presents itself. This boy was shot in the head. It's a very difficult surgery to do, and Tenma is the one who could do it. So he decides to take care of him instead of taking care of the mayor of town. Much to the chagrin of the hospital director and the hospital director's daughter, who is Dr. Tenma's fiance, who's a bitch. But I love her.
She's the worst, and you love her.
Yeah, and so he saves this kid. But the kid ends up being a little more than what is expected. As in, sort of serial killer, sort of not serial killer, but definitely a sociopathic criminal mastermind, really. Just a
also
genius.
Totally a murderer. Definitely murders people. Yeah.
Oh, definitely does. Definitely does. And so that's what sparks this, because basically, Tenma makes this choice, which is so defining in his life, and he saves this kid, which could ruin his life. But the kid turns out to be a murderer.
Ruins his life and his career, especially.
Oh, yeah.
There were a lot of
Girlfriend- his
ramifications immediately.
Fiance immediately leaves
Yeah.
him. He was supposed to be promoted. It's not going to be promoted anymore. Is it going to go anywhere? They're like, hey, you know, nothing's going to happen for you. What are you going to do? Go back to Japan? You can't. There's nothing for you now. Everything's done. But things turn around when two people involved mysteriously end up dead. Wonder why that is. So the rest of us is just Temma trying to correct that mistake. He's like, I can't be a doctor. I saved this person. He's gone on to kill people. So it's this big question of what is the right choice here. And of course, that is the most surface level explanation of monster, because the roots go so deep. Just when you think you understand what's happening, you don't.
There's twists and turns and tons of mysteries. That's just the little beginning mystery that you have to figure out. And he wants to figure out. That's the big thing, right? He's like, I can't handle that these people died, probably because of me. Also, they think maybe he did it. So, like, he's a big suspect because he's the only one who benefited from these deaths.
And that's great because he's going around, he's trying to find this guy. So he's got kind of a search there. He's got some people he kind of can rely on. He picks up on the way while Johan continues to do his thing. And there's also a detective. There's this big detective who's great, who is also thinks that Temma is the killer and thinks that Temma has invented Johan's head. So he's also following him. Now, the one downside between the anime and the manga is that in the anime, you really get to see his fingers type out. So the detective is really, really neat. And he does this sort of like mind palace deal, kind of like what Sherlock does, where he is typing out things to save into a floppy disk in his head.
I love that it's a floppy disk too. It tells you exactly what time it is. It's like, oh yeah, that's a thing that used to happen.
And you kind of see that with this in the manga, but in the anime you can really articulate.
You can hear it and stuff, yeah.
And just that too, right? Like Germany and the Czech Republic, all these places in the 1980s is such a fun playground. Because like a lot of manga and anime, like I feel like Naoki Urasawa is the exception because like, you know, he can draw people from anywhere. Like such diverse people and faces.
It's so true. What's interesting about his art, because I adore his art, he's one of my all-time favorites. And he does do distinct characters and different faces and noses and everything. But at the same time, a lot of people, like if you read a lot of his stuff, like you go to 20th Century Boys after this, or the new one that we can't think of the name of, you're like, oh, those are the same people. Like,
well, yeah, I will say,
you know, I mean, and it's beautiful. He's killing it, but yeah, he's got that. It's just like Tilly Walden. We adore Tilly Walden. You and I, we love her, but she's kind of got the same face syndrome, right? So she could do different characters, but they all end up kind of looking the same throughout her books, different books.
Oh yeah, because I remember reading Pluto and being like, but this guy looks like this guy.
Yeah, exactly, right?
This other book.
Like I just showed like an old guy. It's like, oh yeah, that's the guy from Pluto. Like 100%, right?
So I am curious who your favorite, because there's a tip like normal. We pick a book or a series, but we don't want to spoil it for you. So like we can't go so in depth. But I would like to know who your favorite characters are, or if there's any like favorite moments that you could talk about that aren't spoilery. Because I think there's some that we could talk about.
Yeah, I think you're totally right. I mean, I gotta love. Why can't I think of her name now? I was just reading this. Why can't I think of her name?
Is it? There's only two women in here. Is it Anna?
Anna. I guess I was like, is it Anna? Is that her name?
Nina.
Yeah, right. Anna, Nina. I mean, you gotta love her, right? She's such a good character, especially throughout this and everything that like you end up finding out. I'm not gonna ruin things, but that was so well done. I loved her in it, and I'm forgetting every character. I really should have written these down.
I think
the guy from the orphanage.
Grimmer?
Yeah? Was that the skinny guy?
The smiling one? No. Which one?
Okay, I will look it up. You go ahead. Tell me yours.
Okay, Grimmer's one of my favorites.
Yeah, I think that's who I'm talking about.
Yeah, the something something Steiner, the unbeatable Steiner, whatever
Yeah,
it is.
yeah.
I adore him, and it's always so wonderful and sad to see him
Yes.
because he's a guy that came from like a similar background as Johann, who we're looking after, right? And he doesn't understand emotions really. He's been trained to smile, and it's very sad. But you meet him, he's so gullible, and he's just so like
And like kind of goofy.
yeah.
And like has this great he that's my favorite thing about Urasawa, right? Like these are such as much as the Germany is a huge character in itself, as much as the plot is nonstop and he keeps going, his character work is the best thing he does. His character work, they're so distinct and different, and he can keep introducing, but they all play a role. There's no like just pointless like, oh, why'd you introduce that guy? Like you never question it, and they're all so distinct and like interesting. And I love it. And that's one of the like he was one of the most interesting characters that you get to meet.
You get so attached to him. He shows up at the perfect time because throughout this we just see Tenma's like mental health degrade to a point that's just like really rough. I mean the man he's gone through a lot.
And through everything. Yeah.
And by the time Grimmer shows up, this is the point where Tenma's not as like happy as he was. Because earlier he's still joking around with people, you know, but he's like really down. He's really low. And Grimmer shows up and he's just smiley. But it's still really helpful to him. And so their relationship is really neat. Like when they just go up at the mountain, he's like, well, let's have a picnic. And like he has wine and cheeses.
Yeah, I forgot about that.
What are you doing right now? And Dieter. Oh,
yeah.
One of the many people that Tenma picks up along his way is this kid, Dieter, who becomes a really problematic home and background, and basically becomes his and Aunt Anna's like child, really, that they can't get rid of. And all the adults they run into are like, no, you need to stay with him. You small child who does not belong to this man. You need to stay with him to make sure that he remains moral and can like he'll make the good choices. Because even though Tenma's like, I gotta kill this guy, everybody else is like, no, we're not gonna let you kill this guy. You don't get to do it, which is great. So it's just Tenma like, I'm gonna kill this guy, but I'm still gonna like save literally everybody all the time.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, he can't help it. He's like, this is what I do. Yeah.
I feel you. Oh gosh.
Yeah, that's the thing too. Like he runs into so many different. You get to meet so many different characters, and there's something about all of them that just makes you love them.
And
so good at it.
So many people turn around in an interesting way. Like his ex-fiance, she's the worst always, but she gets this kind of weird romance plot towards the end.
Yeah.
With this guy who kind of looks like Brad Pitt. I feel like he's inspired by.
Yeah, I could see that.
You know, like Brad Pitt in like, what, Seven? Was he in that movie?
I don't know. I never saw it.
That era Brad Pitt, if he's in that. Man. So good. So good. We have a question. Hey gang, I've never read a manga. Are they better than superhero graphics? It just depends on which one you're looking at. I think...
Yeah, they're all comics.
There's a lot to offer.
Totally. And if you are into superheroes, I mean, you can always start with like My Hero Academia. You'll have a great time there. That's an easy transition if that's all you've read, right? Superhero comics. And, you know, Maddie and I love the Shonen Jump app, so we have to mention it. It is $2 whole a month, and you can read all of My Hero on there, all of like big Viz titles. Jump in there. That is definitely what I would recommend to someone new to manga, like, because maybe you won't, I don't know, but you'll probably find something. It is just comics.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, I absolutely, because like I do feel like if you are big into like DC or Marvel comic books and you want to get into manga, Kristen's right. Just get the Shonen Jump app. It's so cheap, and just jump into some titles. Just see what you think.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of them have the same kind of feel. Great cast of characters. You know.
Yeah. While we're on it, okay. So My Hero, definitely recommend that. The Promised Neverland is amazing. Check that out there. Spy
So-
Family we both loved and read
good.
recently.
Seven Deadly Sins is great. I mean, and a lot of the classics, really. A lot of the like manga versions
Yeah,
or
I
the
mean-
anime versions, like Naruto,
Death Note.
is
I
consistently
mean,
good.
yeah.
Yeah, One Piece. I like One Piece. That's my favorite.
If you want to get into a very long series, check out One Piece. I
Yeah.
will one day.
Blue Exorcist. Hey, there's just a ton.
Mm-hmm.
But just jump into the app, see what's popping, what's like popular right now, and check it out.
Yeah.
Ready, please watch the anime. It's very good. I am not against finding a shady way to read Billy Bat. Because if you can't get the thing, then
Yeah, there's definitely a
it's fine.
gray area there for that kind of thing.
Like the monster
I'm still waiting on it though. I'm like, I'll read it when it's here physically. You know, one day they'll do it.
Oh,
They
for
will
sure.
do it one day.
Yeah. I'm hoping they'll continue with the success of like Urasawa's other stuff because I mean the fact that we got all of Monster, it's perfect.
Yeah.
Editions. We're getting all of 21st Century Boys.
Yeah. And I mean, he has something else coming out this year.
Pretty soon, I thought. Like,
Yeah, I think it's like a
Is that
short story
Sneeze?
collection. Yeah. If I may be wrong, but I thought it was all short stories, which is cool. I've never like read anything like that from him.
why don't I see it in here? I probably shouldn't just look at like.
I'll look it up too.
Just look at like a Wikipedia. Just assumed. But yeah. Ooh, whoa! They sell the picture book. For
Really?
Monster? Yeah.
Like officially licensed?
Yeah.
Yeah, there's Sneeze. There
Yeah,
it
so
goes.
that's coming out soon. That looks really cute.
And it's a story collection, yeah. So that's cool.
Neat.
Yeah, that's next month. Cool. That's around the corner.
Did I ever tell you I saw someone cosplay as the monster from Monster at a convention?
Really?
They were competing in the cosplay contest, and they were doing like a walk on. And when they walk on, I lose my shit. It was not a very like loud cosplay competition, and so then I just like start yelling, like, yes! And I like talked to him after. He's like, that's cool. I was like,
Yeah. You're like, you should be
I
stoked
was like,
that I'm so stoked about
everybody
you.
knows Monster. Oh my god, and you did.
That's
I sing
awesome.
the song in karaoke every time. The ending. It's like, okay, calm down.
So you're not best friends now? That's really too bad.
Sometimes I go a little too hard. You know?
You know, I would have been like, we should be best friends.
Yeah, because we are.
I know, right?
We would have freaked out.
Yeah.
You and I both would have gone to him at the same time, and they're like, oh,
Yeah. It's so
Monster?
true. Yeah.
Oh my god, I love Tenma. He's so great.
He gets so rugged and like his hair gets long and
He's so
he's
cool.
growing that beard. Yeah.
See, that would go so well in a
I
show.
know.
Like, but if they do it, they better fucking do it right. I want it 1980s Germany. I want Tenma to be Japanese.
Yeah.
And then, whatever else you do, whatever.
I'm not sure they can do it right because somebody's going to be like, oh, it should be Keanu. Like there's going to be that person.
And I
But
love
yeah, I'm
Keanu.
with you. Yeah, I'm with you though.
And he
Yeah.
is technically Asian American, but no.
Yeah. Not the
I
same.
need full Japanese. I would love to have one of my like favorite actors like Matsuyama Kenichi or somebody because he's in Death Note the movie, the like Japanese one.
Yeah.
Detroit Metal City, which I need you and read to watch or read.
Yeah, you told me. Oh,
He's
yeah, I
in
got to do that.
Bonds. He's in Usagi Drop, the movie before anything's weird and creepy, and tons of stuff.
Yeah, I'm so sad that got so
Isn't that
weird.
a bummer?
I just read the first few volumes and then I heard about it and I was like, I'm not doing this. I
'Cause
dropped
I
it.
read a bunch back in the day, and I watched the movie, and like, man,
Yeah,
that
why
was
did
what I
why?
would recommend.
Yeah, it's so
You
sad.
can't.
At least
Woody
there's like
Allen does.
Sweetness and Lightning does it well.
Sweet as
Yeah. There are good depictions of innocent relationships like that.
So we did the thing again where we talked about a book, and I'm not sure what else to say about it.
Yeah,
I will say
mean,
Monster is like top 5 anime or manga for me.
I've always said this is my favorite manga. I think it still is. I've never read anything that's made me feel the same way, given me all these characters I love. It is a total ride that everyone should take.
And honestly, it might be one of my favorite. Like I'd say it's still top 5, top 10 comic for me.
Yeah. Yeah, me too, for sure.
I don't think anyone really does storytelling like Urasawa does. I really don't.
I'm with you.
And if this becomes a show, probably my favorite show.
Uh, if this is ever a show, you and I are going to talk about it on here 100%.
Yeah, weekly.
Weekly,
Well,
yeah,
like,
we'll do reviews.
When I watched 20th Century Boys, like, I had other movies that were my favorite. And the minute I saw those 3 movies, I was like, nope, these are my favorite movies. And I'm sure when I read the manga, I'm going to feel very similarly. So far, I've only read 3 things by Urasawa. Pluto, the other thing we read, and Monster. Monster continues to be my favorite, even though I loved Pluto. Pluto's still a 10 out of 10. This
I
is
agree.
a 10 out of 10.
Yeah.
I'm sure 20th Century Boys, if the movie was any like, example, will also be a 10 out of 10. I don't think anything's ever going to beat Monster.
I'm with you. And I also adored Pluto. 100% 10 out of 10. The other one was fine. We keep talking about
it was still good.
It's so fun we don't remember the name. But yeah, it was still good.
If it wasn't Urasawa, I think we would have acted differently.
I think that's the thing, right? We're comparing such greats. Yeah. I mean, which deserved, right?
Yeah.
We'll read 20th Century together, and we'll talk about that sometime. I read the first volume like ages ago, and I really liked it. I mean, there's cults and stuff. It's a good time. But I'm excited.
Yeah, it's one of those, I feel like Monster and Pluto, it's best read all together.
Right. Yeah, like I'm collecting them now as they come out, and I'm like, I just gotta wait.
And at least, we'll get that, unlike Kurosaki Corpse Delivery Service.
Oh, girl. I went to, okay, so I pre-ordered that the moment it was listed on Amazon. It's still in my orders, and it just says, we don't know when this will happen. And I'm like, why are you teasing me with this situation? And I feel weird canceling it. Like, I don't want to. I haven't. I don't want to. I know it's not real.
I'll still make sure I have everything that's come out, and then I can just look at it sad like I did my other ones.
Yeah. I'm looking at mine over there, and I'm just like, oh.
Oh, Bobby, that's a great question. Maddie, if Monster is your favorite storytelling, is One Piece still your favorite world building? Absolutely. 100%. I don't know of anything else that world builds like One Piece does. Like, I feel like you need extensive lore to really catch up. And he ties up all loose ends. No one does like my man Oda.
And that's saying something, right?
Wishes. He wishes.
I mean, at least Oda's putting out stuff, right? Come on.
I mean, yeah, the man's work ethic.
That's amazing.
And the whole country of Japan's protection over Oda is beautiful.
When is it supposed to end? There's like an actual end in sight, right?
He just said like within 5 years.
Okay.
He has said that before.
Oh, okay.
But I think we are actually close because he said that he's told a few people how it ends. And before that, he had not. I think the only person he had told was this like Make-A-Wish kid.
Oh, okay.
Basically. But that was it.
How are you feeling about that?
About ending?
Yeah. Like, are you okay with it because it's been so long, or is it a mixture of all the things?
I think it's a mixture because when it finally ends, I'm going to be so emotional. Like, I'm going to need to have, like, a funeral. But, because it's exciting, because there's all these things still. Like, I'm a couple months behind. Because now that the pandemic started, I just, like, stop reading for 3 months, and then I catch up in a day. But there's so many loose ends, like, so many. I don't know what he's going to do with it. I don't know. But I'll cry a bunch. Probably live. I'll do, like, a live thing.
A live reaction to the end.
It's over.
That's great.
And
That's
then
pretty
hopefully everybody
amazing
will
that,
read it.
like, that, I mean, has anyone ever beat that kind of longevity with a title? That's incredible.
Detective Conan.
Oh, yeah.
But
Yeah.
it's so different though, because Detective Conan, I'm like, are you gonna end?
Yeah.
Also, like, it was like 1,000 chapters, or whatever, and it's supposed to all happen within a year. So basically, Conan and his friends were dealing with like 3 or 4 murders a day.
That's crazy time. That's nuts. I thought about jumping into that. And then I'm like, it's so daunting. It's so daunting.
I only have room for one really long series, and it's One Piece.
That's fair.
Everything else, I'll wait till it's done. I'll read it. The exception is Hunter x Hunter, but that's never gonna end. And
Yeah.
it's just hiatus land.
Yeah, that's sad.
Man, someone's selling Billy Bat for like, oh, it's a Japanese Billy Bat. Never mind.
I forgot to point out earlier, Hayden said he thinks he only has like 3 or 4 unread comics on his shelf. That's amazing. Good
I'm
for you.
impressed.
Good for you.
I don't want to think about it.
Yeah, we don't want to count.
Detective Conan also ignores his being turned into a kid, which drives me insane.
Yeah, that's annoying.
Riley said about a year ago that One Piece would somewhere on volume 110, 120. I don't know where he found that out though. A lot of like Oda every year is saying something, and he.
You just don't know what to believe now, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He says 5 years now, so, and we just reached chapter 1,000 or something. Don't tell Omar, but I'm also sure Berserk will never end. You're probably right, Freddie.
Yeah, that's been a while too.
Okay, so there's Hayden's thing. Unread
Okay, that's fair. That's fair. I got those
more
too.
unread comics than unread novels, but that's only because I have less novels now.
I think mine are pretty much the same.
But, you know. So, for people who like Monster, where would you recommend they look next, Kristan?
Oh, what a great question. Other than the stuff we've talked about, like Pluto and all his other things, I'm looking at my manga shelf. Let's see. That's so hard because there aren't many things like this.
Yeah, because I feel like Erased. If you're thinking
That's
of
a good
something that
one.
like twists and turns, like mystery thing, and like the same
Yeah.
sort of like.
I need to finish that.
mood.
I read the first volume and I
I
loved
need to
it.
know if the manga is the same as the anime, because I was.
I'll get them. They're from my library. I'll get them back.
Good. I was
And I'll do that.
irrationally upset
That's not good.
at the anime.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I will 100% read it. I think it's only like 4 volumes. They're quite chunky.
Yeah, the
And they're hardcover. They're nice. So I'll get those.
because I feel like the things that are like in the same like maturity level and like mood tend to be more supernatural and like bloody. So like I feel like it there's not a lot at the same level. It's basically like, okay, well next I guess you could read like Gaunt's or Parasite, which are intense.
I've
But
heard
still
this.
mystery level. Gaunt's is a trip.
I have that first omnibus that I got for
haven't
dirt
read
cheap.
it?
I haven't read it yet. I'm kind
I
of
will
scared.
say it's very explicit.
I've heard this. That's why I haven't read it yet.
But it's good. It's just
But it's good. Okay. As long as you say it's good. I've heard varying things.
yeah, I kind
I'll
of
try
read
it.
the,
I plan to
some of
read
the
it.
manga, not all of it. The live action movies were great.
Okay. Okay, that's cool. I'll do it.
Frey says, I only have one unread novel, the Hunger Games prequel. I keep saying this week and then read 10 to 35 collected editions instead to feel less bad. There's a
I've
Hunger
heard
Games prequel?
Yeah, it just came out like a few weeks ago or something. It's selling like crazy. The Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes, I think is what it's called.
Oh, okay.
I've heard differing things. I don't know. If you like the Hunger Games, though, you should probably read Battle Royale because that's where it started.
It came first.
Yep.
And it's bloody as hell.
You know, I
Looks
still have that
great.
manga.
What?
I still have the manga,
Yeah.
and I haven't read it. Just sitting there staring
You read
at me
the
now.
novel?
I haven't. No. Did
Oh,
you like it? You read it?
Yeah, I loved it. I never
Okay,
read the
good.
manga. I read the novel and I watched the movies.
Okay.
Loved it.
I'm gonna have to
It's
do
one of my
that too.
favorite. Like when I did my must-see Japanese movies,
Hmm.
Battle Royale is always on there. It's
I've
great.
been meaning to.
I mean, it's Japanese level gore, but not like too far out there. Not Takashi Miike cutting off boobs level. It's just.
I mean, I know there's a lot of
level.
kids killing kids, so
Yeah,
you know
yeah, but not like,
what you expect.
It's like okay way. Should say okay way.
We know what you mean. You know, this isn't anything like anything. I still gotta read Chobits. It's just sitting
I
there.
want to see how you like it.
Yeah, I want to see how I like it too.
I'm curious.
You watched the anime, is that right?
I read the manga back in the day.
Oh, you read them? Okay.
Yeah, actually, I've never seen the anime.
Okay.
But I read a lot of clamp manga when I was a kid. But it's been a long time. I wonder. I want to go back and read all the clamp stuff. I want to collect it really bad.
Yeah. And they're coming out with such beautiful editions of all of them.
I know. I'm so tempted. Maybe after Christmas I can start buying up again.
I bet they'll have like a Right Stuff sale. You have to jump on that.
Yeah. I don't know what that is in Man 40.
Yeah, I have one volume of Batum. It's like it's been so long since I read it.
Huh.
Yeah, they're like on an island or something, and they're all trying to kill each other.
Okay. I'll have to check
You
it
know.
out. I do like though that when I typed this in, it recommended Gods, but also recommended Future Diary, which I love.
I've been wanting to read that too. I have not read that.
I think the anime's on Netflix.
Oh,
maybe.
okay, cool. Maybe I'll do that.
I do recommend that. There's a couple of difficult things. It is of the time.
Okay, those sort of things.
Yeah, but it's very good. It's just anime at that time period, and anytime before, and sometimes still, can be rough. I feel like people that say they're the same haven't read both. I don't know. Battle Royale was very different to me. Just have kids killing kids in common. No, I agree about that part.
Yeah, I mean,
The premise.
that's the comparison. Yeah, it's the premise.
Oh, you guys. It says, speaking of Hunger Games, at least the author didn't turn out to be a trash human, like growling.
Well,
And then
well.
Frey said not yet. Well,
Suzanne Collins, watch out! Don't be bad. Don't be bad.
So, you read anything else recently? Anything going on?
You know, I've still been. I'm in a novel right now. I'm kind of stuck in a novel. I'm stuck in 2 novels. And I don't know if anybody cares about that.
No, I'm interested.
But I can tell you. One of them is A Beautifully Foolish Endeavor, which is the sequel to An Absolutely Remarkable Thing by Hank Green.
Mm-hmm.
It's so good. It's amazing. And it's a duology. So like your commitment's not that big. And if you read the first one, you get to the end, you're going to be like, where's the second? So it's so good. And I've waited 100 years for the new Ali Brosh to come out.
Yeah.
Solutions and Other Problems. I'm reading that and it's amazing. And I'm so happy she's alive. That's all. Just so happy she's alive. So I do recommend that for anyone watching though, because it is, I mean, it's all like picture. If you don't know Ali Brosh, Google her right now, go to her blog. But she's amazing. I'm sure you've seen her work online. It's so funny and you'll cry and you'll laugh out loud. And the book is all just text and pictures. So, and it's like 500 pages. Oh, yeah. She's amazing. She's amazing. You would love her, Maddie. You would love her books.
Yeah, 'cause I've seen her comic stuff.
Yeah. So like the first book you may have seen, so, like some of it's her blog posts and some of it's like original to the book. And her second one took 7 years to come out. She dropped off the face of the internet a little bit after that first book came out. Everyone was like, is she alive? Like, no one had any idea what was happening.
Yeah.
And in reading this, you kind of find out what happened in those years. I mean, there's also like flashbacks to her childhood and being a weird kid, and like, it's amazing. You would definitely like it. You should totally get her first book, read that, and then read this one. It's fantastic. So I've waited so many years. I'm just so happy that like it exists. Yeah. So that's what I'm doing. Oh, I did read what is it called? A basket full of heads by Joe Hill. That recently came out for DC's Black Label.
Yeah.
It was crazy, and I really liked it. So I think you would enjoy it.
Okay.
It's a good time.
I like a lot of this stuff.
Yeah.
Eric Mira said, Monsters are great manga, but the last panel ruined it for me. It could have been a 10 out of 10. Where's my
You're like, line? I know I don't have it near me. I'm like, what exactly was that?
Okay, did I not bring volume? Okay, there it is.
I didn't bring it, so you do that and let me know. Don't tell me, but you don't have to ruin it.
I gotta know. Oh, okay. I got you. I know why. It didn't bother me, but I think that's fair. I think it would have. I could have for sure.
I think I remember this now. Yeah.
Well, that's all I've got.
Yeah. Are you reading anything?
I have intentions to read things, and I will read novels once I know that other people are reading novels.
Oh, you should read the Hank Green's books too. They're so good. You will like it. You will
read Mexican Gothic.
Oh yeah, I gotta read it too. Yeah.
So, we are gonna be back next Sunday with Halls and Reads. And then on the 11th, we'll be reading Venus in the Blind Spot and Nijigahara Holograph.
Oh, I read that. But I'll talk about it then. I have thoughts.
Oh, here we go. On Nijigahara Holograph?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, that's not surprising.
His
work can go one or two ways.
It's like I told you. I've had totally differing feelings on other things I've read from him, so I'm not surprised.
Right. And then on the 23rd, we're reading Black Magic 1 and 2 and Ice Cream Man 1 through 5. And on the 25th, Ring American Vampire, volumes 1 through 5. So...
get reading with us.
Yeah. Oh, before we jump off, though, I do want to say, Kristan, I really think you should, if you haven't watched... did you watch The Babysitter on Netflix?
Oh, Babysitter's Club?
No. The Babysitter.
I'm just joking. No, I don't know. I've just watched The Babysitter's Club, which is great.
Oh, so good.
Yeah, The Babysitter, that's like a horror thing, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
But you would love it.
Okay.
Please watch both of them.
Okay.
Because the second one felt a little Scott Pilgrim-ish in a really fun way.
Oh, that's fun.
Yeah,
okay.
I need you to watch them, but they're really good.
Are these, like, older? A few years old, maybe? No, they're new. Okay.
Well, The Babysitter's a few years older.
Okay.
But not too much.
I'll write that down. Okay.
It's really fun horror. It's a little campy, not too campy. But, like, it's self-aware and funny, but not in a way that, like, some of those do it where they, like, it's more gratuitous.
Mm-hmm.
You know? I don't know how to describe it.
I'll totally watch it. And speaking of something like that, have you seen the trailer for Freaky?
Yes.
I think it looks fun.
I do too.
I think it looks really fun. That's all.
Freddie, we might. It depends if my copy gets here.
Oh, you don't have it yet? Yeah. That'll matter. I'll totally read it with you again. I read it and loved it. So definitely. All
right. Well, guys, I'm going to call it now. That's okay. Thank you guys so much for joining us today, and we will see you next Sunday with our hauls and reads. I'll be sure to read something. Before then, I won't be hauling anything.
If you want to haul something, go to instocktrades.com, where you're going to get the best deals.
Absolutely. Thank you, Kristan. And